Hello, everyone. Once again, we are not in the studios. I don't know what it's going to take for us to get back home, but man, we are live from Tom's Watch Bar in downtown Houston. Look, if you're driving around looking for a place to hang out and watch the NFL championships, it's 1201 Caroline Street downtown. We're right next to the House of Blues. And oh my goodness,
Hey,
Jacob,
what is up,
Jacob,
everybody?
I'm trying to bring you on, but Scary Terry just scores a touchdown here. So anyway, folks, from the coaches' quarter, my man here with me each and every week. This has been a long NFL season, but this brother don't let me down. From the coaches' quarter is Jacob Meadows. Jacob,
Woo! What's up, Gene?
hey, you like this place, man? This is a cool place
This
here.
bar is popping, Gene. I've never been to a Tom's Watch Bar before, but this is sick. Last week was cool because of the ambiance, but I will say this bar might have the best TVs I've ever seen in a sports bar outside of Las
Look,
Vegas.
it has a Vegas feel to it. I
It
mean, there are
does.
TVs every which way up in this place here, folks. So, our man back at the studio, AJ. AJ, what's happening, brother?
Nothing much. Can't complain. Enjoy some football. Yes,
AJ,
sir.
man, look, we are so sorry, man, that we can't get you down here for these, man. I know I'm surprised you still even associate with us because we haven't been in the studio in like a month.
Yeah, that is true. I realized that, but I mean, it's all good. Still having fun here.
We miss you, bro.
Yeah,
We
we
miss y'all
do,
too.
man. But look, hey, I promise you, next week we'll be in the studio. Is that it cool?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Don't be taking a vacation,
Oh,
okay?
I'm not. I'm not. Y'all gonna
Okay,
be
we
taking
we
one the following week going to New Orleans.
oh well, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. I mean, come on now. All right, folks. Once again, we are at Tom's Watch Bar here. We're going to be here for this game. We know that the Eagles and Commanders are playing right now. This seems like it's going to be one hell of a game, Jacob.
You know what? Especially now that Scary Terry just scored that touchdown. You know, when you're technically one possession but two possessions behind, it looks a little tough going up against the Eagles. But with that big touchdown and being a 2-point deficit, yes, I think this is going to be a good game. I hope the Commanders take them to the very. I hope the Commanders win, but I hope the Commanders at least take this game, to the end of the fourth, make it a really good game if they don't pull out the dub.
Well, this is a crazy game because it started out with Saquon Barkley just getting in the end zone like, oh, Lord, it's going to be a long day. This
Mhm.
Washington Commanders team do not quit.
No, not at all. Jaden Daniels might arguably be the greatest rookie quarterback of all time. Shout out AJ. And it's dope. I love it, man. It's so cool, and it's crazy that LSU has become kind of a Heisman farm, right? You have Joe
Yeah.
Burr come out, go to the Bengals, one of the most prolific quarterbacks to start his career, and then you have Jaden Daniels coming out, both Heisman winners, and Jaden has led he's on a journey to be the first rookie quarterback to ever make the Super Bowl should they make it past this week. So nuts.
I know. So look, we know that many of you are probably, watching the game, but if you're driving around, we'll try to update you as much as we can. Right now, I can tell you in the second quarter with 7 minutes left to go, 7:05 left to go in the second quarter, it's 14-12. And man, the 2-point conversions, the Daniels, the Eckler. I mean, look, they are doing it again, going for it on 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Detroit was bad with this, but I mean, they are so consistent. And Dan Quinn is, I mean, they are playing to win this game.
Dan Quinn's making a statement, I think. Going for the two early, there's plenty of game left to play, so you can make up any sort of points that you fall behind by at this point in the game. But yeah, Dan Quinn's pulling out all the stops early in this one, Gene. And you like to see it. The aggressive play calling, it's good for the game. You don't see enough people doing it. And if anybody were to take a page out of Motor City Dan Campbell's playbook, it should be Dan Quinn right now going up against the Eagles for the slot in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, you're right about that. So look here, folks. Before you go to bed tonight, you will know who's going to be in Super Bowl 59. Okay, that's going to be in New Orleans in a couple of weeks. Super Bowl 59. Cannot wait. Dustin Pfeiffer from FanDuel Sports Southeast, also one of our Sports Kings members. He will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk about this game, and we'll get his thoughts on the next game coming up, which is the AFC Championship. And guess what? In the second hour, we got a treat as well. CBSSports.com senior writer, our friend Brian Diardo, is going to join us. We're bringing out the heavyweights today, but
we are. Hey, we're making the championship weekend look like Super Bowl weekend, Gene. We're bringing in the big guns.
yeah, we are. So look here, it's going to be a great show here. And I tell you what, why don't we just get into something here real quick here? And AJ, man, we got to get your thoughts on this because I don't know exactly what is going on with the Dallas Cowboys. AJ, you're probably going to have to tell us, but Brian Schottenheimer, are you serious?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing at all, but here we are. I guess he's going to be introduced as a coach tomorrow. I'm interested to see what he's going to even say because, like, dude, it just makes no sense why they made this hire. You could have waited even after these games today. They still have people like Joe Brady out there, Cliff Kingsbury out there. And, I mean, it just seems like they settled. Honestly, that's what it is. I went on a little rant on it over my TikTok and YouTube. You just know, like everyone knows in the NFL that the Jones family, they get in their own way, and that's why the Cowboys won't win significantly because I mean they just constantly settle and do things that result to the opposite of winning.
Well, look here, AJ. I mean, look, most people can understand letting Mike McCarthy go. Some people can't understand that. But at least if you're going to let him go, you upgrade, right?
Replace him with somebody that makes sense. Yeah.
They didn't have a plan, clearly.
No, the only reason they had to release Mike McCarthy is because he wouldn't agree to contract terms with him, which good on him, right? No matter where Mike McCarthy goes, he's going to end up in a better situation. And the Cowboys just had zero contingency plan, which makes no sense whatsoever. Because no matter what, you've got to have something in your back pocket. Being stuck, Kellen Moore didn't want to come here. They reached out to Prime Time. And Deion Sanders would have been cool to a point, but he has made his position clear with the University of Colorado that he doesn't want to leave. And that you whiff on Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll goes to the Raiders. That would have been a great stabilizing force for the Cowboys. But Jerry Jones wouldn't have been able to actually control him. And so you end up with Schottenheimer, an OC that didn't call offensive plays, that led an offense that, underperformed for the entire season he was there. And it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, no, go ahead, AJ.
Imagine, I was just saying, yeah, it still doesn't. And like you said, they had no contingency plan. I mean, if you knew that the possibility of McCarthy would move on, or you might have just a second game plan just in case. I mean, they didn't even have another plan. So that's why it's so frustrating. At this point, I was saying to myself, they might as well just have kept McCarthy. Bro. Like, it was just bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I've got a lot of friends. Many of them are Dallas Cowboy fans, and they're shaking their head about this. And of course, now I guess the only positive would be that he was there last year. He's familiar with the team. But man, what do you do? I mean, look, what do you do when the season starts and the Cowboys at the bottom of the cellar? I mean, what does Jerry make another move here? I mean, the turnover ratio in Dallas at head coach, man, this is the worst job you could have in the NFL.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's not like they don't have talent though, so that's why I would debate that. But in terms of organizational stability and actually being able to command things as a head coach and just a presence there and having a voice, yeah, for sure. Because the narrative is always going to be for Jerry Jones and he wants to win his own way, so he's not going to give you full control. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the only positive thing is that it's an unknown. You don't know how he's going to be as a head coach. Apparently, he's going to call plays and stuff like that. He's a run first type of coach, I guess. So, I mean, that's a solid thing, I guess. But I mean, they need a lot of things with personnel, and they need health and just a lot of different things. So apparently, Matt Eberflus is a favorite to be the defensive coordinator. That's actually a solid hire in terms of being a coordinator. He wasn't a good coach, but he was really a good coordinator. So we'll see what happens there. That's why I'm optimistic in that way. But it just shows that Jerry Jones just doesn't know what he's doing.
It's amazing. I mean, it is simply amazing what we have seen out of Jerry Jones lately. Many people wonder when is he going to turn the farm over to the kids, but he has made it clear he's going to do this until he dies. So
I don't think that he should turn it over to his kids. Stephen Jones isn't that crazy good either. I don't like him either. I think
well, look, the apple probably don't fall far from the tree anyway.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So anyway, yeah, it's just one of those shocker things. I mean, the Cowboys are always going to be in the news, but look here, we would not let that take away from the exciting NFL championships that we have going on here this weekend. Saquon Barkley, Jacob, continues to just do whatever he wants to do. He's got 5 attempts, 72 yards right now. He's averaging about 14 a carry, 2 touchdowns already. We haven't even seen the beginning yet.
Most of the betting lines for Saquon Barkley, the over-under on his yardage allowed, you were looking at 126 and some change, and it's looking like Saquon's going to go over on every Vegas, Louisiana, whatever line you're looking at. Saquon's going to go over his rush yards prop bet. If you're just looking at this, from the outside looking in, nuts. Saquon is a monster. He deserves the MVP. Nobody could fight for him enough. It's probably going to be a quarterback that wins it because it's become a quarterback's award. But man, Saquon is having a historic season.
Yeah, I mean, he's on his way for another one of those 200-plus yard games. Look, so guy that just came and stood in front of us and was just looking at us. It's one of my buddies. I didn't recognize him because he's wearing all
Raiders gear.
I didn't know. I'm like, who is this guy standing in front of us wearing all this Raiders stuff?
Who's representing the black ball at the NFC Championship?
That's Sean. Sean just came by. He lived out there in Katy, made the drive all the way down here. I hope he can find a seat, man. Good Lord, this place is just really
good
packed.
luck. Godspeed to him.
It's packed, but yeah, and we'll talk to Sean too because with the Pete Carroll hire, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break right now. When we come back, folks, we're going to get more into NFL championships, give you an update with what's going on here with this game here, NFC Championship game, and we're live at Tom's Watch Bar on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
Woo.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
And we are back, everybody, once again. It is NFL Championship weekend. We are the Mean Gene Show. Jacob Meadows here. And look here, you know what? We got help today. We've gotten so busy here that we've had to, bring in some help here, Jacob. So you want to introduce our helper today because you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah. See, I saw her in Dallas. We decided to bring her back. We needed a little more free labor, so I brought my girlfriend with us again. Rachel Sweeten is with us again in house today here at Tom's Watch Bar. She's actually coordinating. We have a shirt giveaway. It's super dope here at Tom's. They're coordinating everything, and it's really, really cool. But she's helping with the entire shirt operation that we've got going on. Shout out ESPN.
And looked at you when you said free labor, like what?
Yeah,
somebody's paying.
It's not free, but it's also not an ESPN's dime. It's coming from my pocket. So it's one of those things. It's free to the Mean Gene organization and everything we are doing here today.
Yeah, I just have a feeling I'm going to get a bill somewhere at the end of the year or something like that. But anyway, it's all good. Hey, this place right here, look, I know last week we were hanging out at Christian's Tailgate. Man, I missed those burgers already.
Man, those burgers were good, Gene.
I know we shouldn't be talking about another place, but those burgers was just.
I will say, all the food I've seen come out here so far at Tom's looks amazing.
Yeah.
just phenomenal. Down to the salads. Like, even the salads look really
Look
good.
at this bar. This bar stretches from one end of the building to the other.
It's the biggest part of the restaurant. Yeah. No, this place it has a lot of Las Vegas vibes to it.
It really does. And, and by the way, speaking of Las Vegas, Tom's Watch Bar is located all over the country.
Mhm.
They have them in Orlando, Charlotte, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. And buddy, we're going to go to that Vegas one.
Hey, we're trying to come back. Hey.
That's one thing. Look here, man. They do not want us back in Vegas because we don't know how to act, okay?
No, not at all. Paint that town red every time.
Look here. Speaking of don't know how to act, well, I tell you what. The Texans decided to make a change. Okay, they said enough. C.J. Stroud was sacked 52 times. The offense looked, really different, and Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator for 2 seasons. So, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. You're responsible for an exciting offense last year, but this year, it's a tale of 2 different, seasons, and they fired. The Texans decided to part ways with Bobby Slowick. Were you shocked?
Yes and no. So one of the big hits on DeMeco Ryans this season was that a lot of people thought he was too nice, right? He stuck by Bobby. He kept him throughout the entire season. We didn't have a contingency for him, but we stuck through him. He looked good last year, came in this year. Honestly, I think the offensive line coach was the issue, not Bobby Slowick, but I do think Slowick was bad at calling plays. He couldn't adjust plays. He wouldn't allow C.J. Stroud to adjust plays at the line, and that's what got Slowick canned. We also fired the offensive line coach. We also fired the assistant offensive line coach. So we're going to be looking at a totally different Texans offense next season, and every Houston Texans fan should be excited. I think I have an idea as to who they're bringing in, and I think the offense is going to have a very, very different look. There are a lot of ties to an old Philadelphia Eagles regime here at the Texans. DeMeco Ryans played for the Eagles when a man by the name of Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator of the Ohio State Buckeyes, had just won the Natty. DeMeco Ryans was there when Chip Kelly was the head coach. Our linebackers coach here with the Houston organization was the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles at the same time. I think we may be trying to pull Chip Kelly in for offense, bringing in that stiff analytics view, the high tempo, the good conditioning that Chip Kelly brings. He's a very, very smart mind, often called a beautiful mind in the NFL and in college. I know he kind of flamed out as a head coach, and I think there were a lot of weird things that went around about him when he was here and when he was on his way out of Philly. But I think Chip Kelly could really turn this Houston offense around, Gene.
Woo, I tell you what, that's a lot. Okay, first of all, okay, so they fired Bobby Slowick, and as you mentioned, the offensive line coach Chris Strausser, they get rid of him too. So they made wholesale changes. Just said, okay, we're gonna blame the entire offensive coaching staff on, the lack of success this year for the Texans. But man, Chip Kelly, I've heard that name, and I'm not a Chip Kelly fan. I never thought he should have been a head coach in the NFL. He practically ruined the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's taken them a long time to get back to prominence here. As they did they get in the end zone there? I think
they did.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
On the there's a flag on the play.
And a little extracurricular activity there, so that's going to be some unsportsmanlike stuff. But anyway, Eagles just get in right now, pending the extra point, 20-12. So we'll see how that goes. But look, Chip Kelly, I did. What he did in Oregon was just unbelievable, and I do agree with the offensive mindset that might help. They're going to need somebody of some relevance, because what I hate to see with any young quarterback is to have to go through so many offensive coordinators. Mm-hmm. Peyton Manning will say this over and over again. If you want to ruin NFL quarterback, a young quarterback, keep changing offensive coordinators on them, because so whatever the Texans do, let's hope they get someone in and it's going to stay, because it's a setback. It will be a setback, because whatever Kelly brings in, I'm certain, if you're bringing in an offensive line coach, you're going to be changing everything. And let's see what this offense is going to do. How they're going to respond.
Two really good examples of that, too. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Both of them have found success with the teams that they're on now. Sam Darnold with the Vikings, Baker with Tampa Bay. Baker went through 4 different OCs in Cleveland before he was shipped out of town to the Panthers. Everybody had given up on him, and now look at him. He's just a model of consistency. He plays really well. It takes a little bit of consistency. I just think Chip really brings. I think Chip brings a mindset that the Houston offense could benefit from at this point. Coming from Slowick, a first-time OC, I think Chip will be able to provide a little bit of stability, and I think it's going to benefit C.J. Stroud in a big way.
Yeah, AJ, I want to get your thoughts on this because it's just, I just hate seeing the turnover this early in a young quarterback's career. But, Chip Kelly is a offensive genius. So how do you see this working out for the Texans?
I agree with Jacob. Especially with the offense, how it progressed so much this year, you need to make some type of change. And ultimately, Slowick losing his job, it sucks. And I don't think he should get all the blame, but you definitely want to have some type of revitalization because while you don't want to have in and out coordinators, sometimes you need to restart to try to make things get better. So I think it'll benefit him. Kelly, he would be amazing. Obviously, just one offensive coordinator, a championship at Ohio State, and being able to relate to Stroud being from the program. I think that would be a good pairing. But we'll see what happens. I think that they kind of need a refresher because
you know what's scary though?
This is but the offense kind of at times unhealthy.
Okay. Now here's what's scary though, and look, anytime you bring on former head coaches to be, position coaches, D'Amico Ryans now has little room for error because making these changes, it's almost like you only get a chance to make this wrong right, or right wrong or whatever. You get to do this, but there's pressure on him now.
Yeah.
If the Texans don't perform well next year, then
it's a lot more questions you got to ask, right?
Yeah,
this is D'Amico.
yeah.
D'Amico brought in his own staff.
Yeah.
Now you're losing half of that staff, right? So now if we get off to a slow start this season, if things don't work out this season, you might see D'Amico Ryans on the hot seat because I don't care how big of a legend you are in the city, right? D'Amico is heralded in the city of Houston. But you've got to produce.
You got to win.
So unless you are Jerry Jones, it does not matter. And you have to produce. So if we see the offense take another step back, if we see it stagnant, they don't get any better at all, you are going to see D'Amico Ryans find his way to the hot seat, more than likely, something that we don't want to see, but it is very possible that he could.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I think, he's going to be safe, but, man, it's got to work, and I hope that, everything kind of works for C.J. Stroud's favor because, man, the offense is just good. It's good, and I don't know where the breakdown came, but, man, you just cannot let your quarterback get sacked that much. That was terrible, in Charles Barkley's word.
It was really bad. But, I don't think our offensive line's going to – we're not going to get worse, right? We fired our O-line coach. He was a first-time offensive line coach in the NFL. This was his kickoff, right? So the dude he didn't pan out. You don't always get that. But no matter who we bring in as OC, the offensive line coach we bring in, regardless of who gets the OC position, is going to be a vet. He's going to have done this before. He is going to have the chops to know how to do stuff like adjust for a blitz. This guy who was in his first year, we couldn't pick up a blitz all season. Week 1 to the final week of the year until we got eliminated in divisional, right? We could not adjust to pick up a blitz. And every other line coach in the NFL can do that. So, it's one of those things where immediately we're going to see some sort of production that is better, at least from that position.
Yeah. Well, we should see. It's going to be interesting. Look, folks, the game is getting exciting. That was Marshawn Lattimore in on that.
Yep. Gotta love it. On A.J. Brown.
Yeah. So, his name, he's one guy that you're going to have to look out for on this Washington defense.
Passion.
So, look, there's 1:44 left here in the second half. In the
second quarter
before we go to halftime here, 20-12. I got to think that Washington, look like is that a fumble?
That looks like a Washington fumble on the kick return and a Philadelphia recovery.
So, man, this thing could get out of hand before we go to halftime. But look here, folks. Once again, we are just really kicking it, having a great time here at Tom's Watch Bar. If you're riding around, it's a rainy day here in the city, by the way. It is I think it finally looked like it stopped raining, but, man, it was just pouring down here. So you got a lot of things going on down here in this area. The House of Blues is right next
Isn't that cool? This is
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
location.
A real good location. And then over to our left, of course, is the Toyota Center. Where, how about those Houston Rockets?
Hey,
man?
getting another dub last
I
night,
know,
Gene.
man. Look, pretty soon we're going to be talking NBA here because we're running out of football here in about another couple of weeks here. But man, the Houston Rockets last night, what a win! They go to Cleveland and beat them again. They just beat Cleveland in a couple of days.
Amen Thompson.
And man, what do you say, AJ?
I said Amen. Then Amen. Best player on the Rockets.
Yeah, that's right. And look here, that kid is not related to me. I am not his uncle. Okay, this first, people always call me and say, "Hey, your nephew is, having a great game there." But no, look, what a name too,
Amen Thompson. It's almost as cool as Kool-Aid McKinstry, man. The names have gotten better as the years have gone on.
I know. So look here, we're gonna take another break. When we come back, we will have our guy on here, Dustin Pfeiffer from FanDuel Sports Southeast. Talk about this game, talk about the next big game that's coming up here. You're listening to the Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows right here on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All righty, folks, we are getting it on here at Tom's Watch Bar here as things between the Eagles and the Commanders are getting kind of tense here. Look, real quick, good friend of mine, Navy veteran, I think that was out of bounds there. That'll get you kicked out of the game right there.
It's a small late hit.
Good friend of mine, it's his birthday today, so I want to give him a quick shout out. Steve Phillips, happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, Steve.
I don't know how old he is. I think he's old as dirt. But anyway.
To be one of your friends, Gene.
He's an old dirty bastard is what we like to refer to him as. But anyway, Steve, happy birthday. Look here. We are joined by the one, the only. We just did the Sports King show a couple of days ago, and man, this guy gives me a hard time no matter what I bring up. When I told him that Brian Schottenheimer was going to be the next head coach, he laughed at me. But anyway, folks from FanDuel Sports Southeast, he's also a member of the Sports Kings. He covers the Carolina Panthers and the Charlotte Hornets. Dustin Pfeiffer, what's up, Dustin?
Hey, Mean Gene, what's going on? I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the Cowboys.
Oh, you wouldn't? Okay, look. Hey, well, Dustin, it's fine. We just talked a couple of days ago, and at the time, it wasn't, confirmed that he was going to be the coach. I just simply said that he had a second interview. Well, now we know how that interview turned out.
Yeah, we did. And listen, I had no words. I'm not trying to bash Brian or anything like that. He turned out to be a good head coach. He comes from a family of coaching. But you or Jacob tell me, even AJ the Cowboys, tell me, how is this guy better than Mike McCarthy? And I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan. But this Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl. He's taking the playoffs. So how is this guy who's never been a career assistant an upgrade over Mike McCarthy?
AJ, I'm gonna let you handle that one.
Oh, he definitely isn't. They just didn't have a
plan
clearly. I mean, it's just so annoying how it turned out. Obviously, they had negotiations that fell apart. I guess they were trying to lowball McCarthy. That's what it seems like. Indicating reported. They didn't have a plan. They had so many options. Kind of like how they operated free agency last year. If you look at it, they drug their feet, and then all the candidates saw like the running backs go, and all the coaching candidates went. They just settled. That's what happened in their coaching process.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have a plan. Their plan is called Jerry Jones plan. He does whatever he wants. And this hire is Jerry Jones having yes and that. Who's going to answer to him and do what he wants. And the Cowboys are never going to do that.
It's going to be a tough look, Dustin. It really is. I mean, Schottenheimer, going back, like he put out one of the least creative offenses at the University of Georgia prior to Kirby Smart's takeover. And it's one of those things, man. Like like AJ said, Schotty really was like, he was a last ditch effort. They had nobody else to go to. He was already on the team that could promote within. Jerry knew that Schottenheimer was going to listen to everything Jerry said, because that dude just wants a job. And he got it as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
It's a new disaster for the Cowboys. It's not a disaster. They've had some successful years, but they haven't been to an NFC Championship game in 30 years. And you look at this division, you're looking at two teams right now live, the Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles, that are going to be around for a while. You throw in the Giants, who have their quarterback in the door, somebody like the Cowboys very soon putting the pair of the bottom of the years to come.
And you know what? Speaking of these two teams in the NFC East, and right now in this NFC Championship game, it looks like, Dustin, that the Philadelphia Eagles are making a statement here on Championship Sunday. Jalen Hurts just hit A.J. Brown with a 4-yard touchdown pass there. So, look, it is 27-12 now. And we've seen the Commanders make comebacks in the second half because they are a second-half team. But is it? I mean, it's getting away, Dustin.
I'm not saying this game is over, but I'm watching this first half. And yes, the Eagles are making Saquon Barkley, obviously he does. Now A.J. Brown gets a touchdown. But to me, it's the Washington Commanders themselves. Two fumbles, one on the kickoff, one over the middle where they're getting yards. When James is on the field, I think the Commanders are.
All right, guys, we have Michael Sims.
Turn the ball over against a team like this, it's a disaster. It seems like now the Eagles are getting guys' heads, you're personal foul, late hit out of bounds, that came on the air. It's just Washington, they're going to have a chance to come back in this game. They're going to have more football. Stop turning it over.
Yeah, one thing, look, now, and this is where things get, and I understand, this kid has been poised all year, but look, we're talking, this is high stakes here. This is the NFC Championship game. This is the Super Bowl on the line here, and to have him try to come from this, 15-point deficit right now, and I don't know who has the possession in the.
Well, the Eagles got the ball, didn't they? So it's going to be Commanders getting it.
The Eagles get the ball to start the second.
Oh, wow, man,
that's brutal.
So, I mean, look, the first 7 to 8 minutes of the third quarter is going to determine if this game is going to be over, because if the Commanders don't come out, they got to come out and play defense right away, stop the bleeding. Mm-hmm. Now you asking, this is where being a rookie shows up. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just think this is going to be a monumental task for him to try to come back, Dustin.
It's going to be a monumental task, but let's not blame it on Jaden Daniels. He's out there throwing the ball
Right,
over
right,
making
right.
plays. It's the defense that can't stop Saquon. They can't stop A.J. Brown. Lattimore is all the way in Lattimore's head now. He's getting penalties. And again, when you fumble the ball and turn it over in the red zone territory, Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts are just going to run it, push, do whatever they got to do. And you're right. This first drive of the second half is going to be huge. They scored a touchdown. This game's over.
Oh, yeah, it is. Go ahead, Jacob.
The Eagles have one, just to piggyback off of that, the Eagles have one of the best rushing offenses in the league. So just like you just said, Dustin, you can't give them short yardage situations because you do have Saquon, the number one back in the league. You do have Jalen Hurts, a top 3 running quarterback in the league. You have all of this power. You have a good offensive line. You have A.J. Brown, who is absolutely toasting Marshawn Lattimore right now, mentally and on the field. And it's a bad look for the Commanders. They're going to have to control the entire third quarter. The third quarter is going to be the pivot quarter in this game. If the Commanders can take control of the third, it'll be a good game. But if they come out, they look a lot more like what they did here in most of the first half. It is not going to be that way.
Yeah, let's hope for our sake to get a stop, get back in this game. If not, then we're going to have to get ready to get Sunday and hope this one doesn't. Hopefully, Washington go in the second half will come
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to be a lot to put on this kid. So we should see here. Look, Dustin, before we let you go here, we also talked about the Houston Texans, and they decided to part ways with offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. And Jacob shared with us that they are heavily looking at bringing in Chip Kelly to be the offensive coordinator. So your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Kelly had a lot of Ohio State. He's been a good offensive mind, whole career with college and pro. A little surprised to see Bobby Slowick get that go after the year.
Yeah, same here.
That offense took a step back this year, and was not as close as it was. But you got to look at some of the injuries. The dig, with Tank Dell. I mean, and then the number one thing I see every time I come on here to talk about Texas. It's not going to matter who the offensive coordinator is until you get that offensive line because CJ Stroud. You've got the guy in place. Now you've got to protect him. So we'll see what happens. I think Philip is kind of a fall guy there. He had a great year. He got his coaching in. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Chip Kelly would be a good hire but it's more about the personnel and building out offensive line around CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I agree. And I told Jacob that, look, and you're right, Slowick is the fall guy here. By making this move so early in this career, I would like to just have probably seen them just try to reset, come back next year and try to do it again. I don't like having young quarterbacks go through multiple offensive coordinators so young in their career. But look, what this does here is now, okay, so DeMeco Ryans, okay, so they make this call here. And if it don't work for Chip Kelly, then this is where the head coach, Jacob says, hey, DeMeco could be on the hot seat if this plan backfires.
Yeah, the pressure's on the Texans because listen, not only is it because you got a franchise quarterback Stroud, but because of the division with the Colts, the Jaguars, they're going to do. The Titans have the number one overall pick. All these teams are basically rebuilt. So you have no excuse to win this division every year, and not to be in the playoffs. So yes, DeMeco Ryans might be on the hot seat, really coach, but because of that division. You have high expectations every year. We have to be honest. This year was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Hey, Dustin, we're gonna let you go, man. I know it's halftime. Let you refresh those drinks, but let that ice hit the bottom of the glass. You know how we do it, right?
Absolutely,
hey,
man. I'm watching Jaden Daniels right now. He's got to miss this point.
Yeah, I know that was a nice scramble. Hey, look here, real quick too, before Dustin gets off the phone. Look, Blake, his son, balled out there on this basketball game. Dustin, tell us about little Blake.
appreciate the shout out, Gene. Drake had a great day yesterday. His team won 27 to 13 on basketball court. I'm sorry, 23 to 17. He had 13 of the 23 points. So,
MVP,
very
heck yeah.
basketball game, huge game. So shout out to my son. Appreciate that. He said thanks, Uncle Gene.
Oh, hey, that's good stuff. All right. Hey, Dustin. So, hey, man. Your thoughts on the next game, real quick? Who you got? Chiefs.
Real quick, man. This is going to go down as a just like that Ravens last week. It could be an all-time. I think Josh Allen turns into Superman and takes down the Chiefs.
All right. There
Yes.
you go. There you go, man. Hey, Dustin, thanks. Enjoy the game, man, and we'll catch up next week. And
All right, thanks,
tell you what. All righty.
Later, man.
Dustin Pfeiffer, FanDuel Sports Southeast, also a member of the Sports Kings, our Vegas
Crew.
buddy there, man, a part of that Vegas crew there, and interesting takes there, from Dustin on that. You know what? We'll follow up on it when we come back here, because I'll tell you what now, one thing that's going to happen here is that when this game do go to overtime, we're right next to the DJ. So we're probably going to have to crank up our volumes here a little bit. Just a
yeah.
little bit, because it's about to get loud up in here, because we got, a 20-minute halftime or what have you. But anyway, hey, folks, stick around. Plenty more of the Mean Gene Show. We got another segment coming up here. Then we also got the second hour as we count down to the big AFC Championship game between Buffalo and Kansas City. From Tom's Sports Bar, downtown Houston, it's the Mean Gene Show on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
I might swerve in that corner, whoa, whoa.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, we are back, folks. Thank you, Dustin Pfeiffer, for coming on there and inspiring the Washington Commanders as they were able to put up 3 points, Jacob, before the half. It is now 27-15, and the Eagles have the ball in the third quarter. But you were just saying during the break here that if the Commanders come out and get a stop, we could see another one of those Washington Commanders miracle comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you see something like you can get a scoop and score, if you can get a pick six, like if you can get some momentum behind your back as the Commanders right now, this is a totally different game. I mean, if you think about it, if they come out and they score, right, you take the ball away and you end up scoring, that's 21, 22 to 27, right? Depending on if you go for 2 or if you go for 1, you have the opportunity then to take the lead with another score. So if they can steal momentum here, then it is going to be huge for the end of this game, Gene.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I tell you what, let's just kind of look at the stats real quick. And I mean, just looking at this game here, Jalen Hurts is balling out here.
Yes.
Okay. He's 12 of 18, 141 yards, a touchdown. He's got a 108 quarterback rating. Saquon Barkley is just doing Saquon Barkley things. 9 attempts, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging damn near 10 yards a carry.
Yep.
That's just pretty much ridiculous.
Monster.
Including the one long 60-yard burst there. I mean, this guy, I mean, it's just his speed was something that I don't know if we saw that with the Giants, did we?
You did early in his career, right? And the Giants just failed to put any sort of a team around him that could do anything so people could key in on him. But Saquon is reinvigorated, right? Like it almost looks like we're back in Saquon's rookie year where Saquon could do whatever he wanted. He's happy with the Eagles. He is very happy with the Eagles. The Eagles are happy to have him because he is the only reason that they are here today.
Now, giving it up, you mentioned the Eagles. How about their defense there? I mean, look, they are really holding down the Washington rushing attack now to, like, 54 yards or something like that?
Give or take.
That's, that's pretty good there. So, Jaden Daniels, not too bad, 15 to 24, 139 yards, a touchdown for a 92.2 quarterback rating. Scary Terry, your guy, that long 36-yarder that he caught there. He's been targeted a couple of times, but are you shocked that Zach Ertz has been targeted more time than Brown or Scary Terry?
No, I kind of figured Zach Ertz would be peppered a lot in this game just because he's the safety blanket, right? The Eagles have a terrific secondary. Zach Ertz, plus it's a revenge game, right? People are quick to forget that Zach Ertz was the guy in Philadelphia before Dallas Goedert stepped into the scene. So this was a big game for Zach Ertz for more reasons than one. So I did kind of expect Ertz to be involved. And you can't see it underneath my H-Town hoodie. I'm representing Takedale today, but I've got a shirt for the brand. Tress Way is 1 for 1 for 23 yards, and it's worth noting because Tress Way is an absolute dog in the special teams unit for the Commanders, and he had one of the nicest throws of the game, probably going to have one of the nicest throws of the game. So shout out Tress Way. But, yeah, Zach Ertz always should have been targeted a lot today, Gene.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen here because, I mean, look, one thing we want is a competitive game.
Yes.
All right. I just don't think a Dan Quinn-led team is just going to fold this easy. Even if Jaden Daniels doesn't have a great second half, I still think the Washington defense is what's going to really keep them in this game.
Yeah, I think now we get to fall back and see what the Jeremy Chen acquisition does, what the Bobby Wagner acquisition does. We get to see, if Marshawn Lattimore can kick it into a second gear here for the second half, you're going to start to see, or you should start to see, all of these offseason acquisitions, these big-name vets that they brought in, these guys that are supposed to be elite at their position, what they are actually going to bring to the table now that we're in crunch time the second half of the NFC Championship, Gene.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is, 30 minutes is going to determine who is going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Is it going to be the Eagles, who are at home, played all year to get themselves in this position here? Especially, I mean, look, this game, this should have been. We should have been watching. The Eagles should be in Detroit.
Yes.
I mean, because they were not the number 1 seed. So this is why being the number 2 seed doesn't hurt, because when number 1 gets knocked out, you get the NFC Championship game.
You are the number 1 then.
In your backyard. So I know Eagles fans do not want to be disappointed here. But, man, this is still an NFC East matchup. Third time these teams have seen each other.
Yeah, and it's that. Honestly, I think that makes it more exciting, right? Like, it would have been great. I wanted Detroit to make it to this point. I really did. Dan Campbell deserves it. The Lions deserve it. However, seeing an NFC East clash in the NFC Championship, each team's got a coach that were cast-offs from the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out you, AJ. And it's like it's an overly competitive game. Like you said, they've already played each other twice.
Yeah.
These two teams are tuned to beat one another. So this is going to give us probably what is the most competitive championship game we could have got, because these teams build themselves just to beat one another.
Yeah, I know. It's just incredible. Look, last week you did something that was really unique. You gave our YouTube viewers opportunity to see exactly where we were. So can I ask that you do that again? Can you pick that up and turn it around and just show people what we're working with here?
I absolutely can, Gene.
You're gonna see Tom's Watch Bar. So this is the right side of the bar. All right. So the right side of the bar looks like the left side, but this is what we got going on over here. Then over here, this is the other side of Tom's Watch Bar. So you can see it's standing room only. This place is packed. And things, Jacob. I mean, this is just unbelievable. AJ, did you get have you ever been down to this spot?
I haven't been there. I think I've rode past there though, but I haven't been there. It looks nice. It looks nice for sure.
And you can tell it's halftime because you hear the DJ, right?
Yeah.
Jacob promised me that he was going to bust the rhyme here. You know the words to this one, don't you?
I sure do. Hey, it's my favorite beat, man.
I heard you mumbling something there. I thought maybe you knew the words of this song. So, look, what a great atmosphere here. Look, next week we'll be back in studio, of course, and we're going to be talking about the End Zone 7-on-7. This is like a tournament of nothing but high school football players across the country. They come into to H-Town, and I'm talking about the cream of the crop of high school football players, right? So they're going to be doing some things here in March. So I got the one of the guys that put this whole thing together. He's going to be on the show next week. Nice. So we'll be talking a little high school football, something we don't really talk a lot about. But, look, I'd probably rather talk about that than the Pro Bowl, because the Pro Bowl is just not the Pro Bowl of old. It's a skills competition for the most part now. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be stuck with while we wait for Super Bowl 59.
Isn't it crazy how the Pro Bowl really used to be? Like, they took the best players from every team and they played like it was the Super Bowl. All of those players got together. They used to have the most elite commercials, just a one-off. The Pro Bowl used to have great commercials. But then you also had the most elite players in the league playing against one another. You had an AFC and an NFC side, and it was one heck of a competition, and we no longer have that.
Yeah, I know. So it's interesting. But anyway, so yeah, next week that'll be fun here as we speak with his name is Gordon.
Okay.
And it's the End Zone 7-on-7 tournament here.
Nice.
Just high school players, major talent that's going to be doing their things here. I tell you, man, these folks are really coming up here getting these T-shirts here. So it ain't nothing like a little, publicity there for our station and our show. We have to represent ESPN 97.5. All right, hey, way to go. I got one guy here. I don't know if he's going to fit that T-shirt, though.
He's a big dude.
Rachel, did you give him 2 T-shirts? Because he was a big guy.
You're going to have to cut one in half, sew them together.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something. I know. He looked at Rachel. He looked at the shirt. So, amazing stuff here. So, look, we got another hour of did we just lose the signal here?
We sure did. It's halftime. Hopefully they fix it.
So
but yes.
Well, you know what? One thing, if you're on DirecTV and when it rains, I think you already know what happens, right?
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things about. So right now, there's no TVs in the building right now. I'm glad we're not having you show show that right now. But anyway, no, I'm sure they're going to get that back here because it does look like it's going to be storming a little bit more outside. But this is great stuff, man. This is just really great stuff here. So what did you look at the menu?
Rachel looked at the menu.
I know they got hot wings.
Their hot wings look good too.
Yeah, hot wings. Yeah, they look pretty good. So I don't know what we're gonna have here. Once again, we have to starve until
the end
after the second hour. But man, look, I keep thinking, and I told you when we left last week, when we left Christian's tailgate, that I was gonna be singing that damn Buffalo Bills song
all week, Gene. Yes, all week. Let's go Buffalo.
I don't see any Buffalo Bills fans in here yet.
Couple Chiefs
there's
fans.
more Chiefs fans in here than Buffalo Bills fans. But man, that song stayed in my head all freaking week. Okay, and I mean, they are some pretty good tailgaters, so I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah,
across the city, what just Buffalo Bills fans gathering around. And we got our TVs back, so we lost them
we got
again.
some of them. Yeah,
Okay.
the game's still not bad.
All right, so we're good here. But anyway, we're gonna wrap up this first hour, and when we come back, it's the second hour of the Mean Gene Show. We got CBSSports.com senior writer Brian DeArgo going to join us at the bottom of the second hour. We'll give you some updates here from Financial Field there as far as what's going to happen here and what we expect to take place in this third quarter here. As you know, we're 30 minutes away from knowing who's going to win the NFC championship and get to the Super Bowl. So why don't we just go ahead and take that break now? When we come back, folks, it's the Mean Gene Show live from Tom's Watch Bar, downtown Houston on ESPN 97.5. Hey, welcome back, folks. We're so glad you decided to stay with us as we continue our NFL Championship Sunday show live from Tom's Watch Bar, 1201 Caroline Street, downtown Houston. Jacob Meadows here. We getting it done here. You know, the kickoff just happened here. Was it Gainwell?
Kenneth Gainwell looks to have been shaken up on the play. I think Bobby Wagner actually ended up hitting him, but Kenneth Gainwell is the one that was down on the field with an injury for now. I mean, he might be okay. I believe he got off on his own power, so maybe just a little shaken up.
Yeah, and that normally happens when Bobby Wagner hits you.
Yeah, there's been about a decade of history of that being pretty consistent.
Something like that. Okay, so this hour we will continue to check in on this Commanders and Eagles. Eagles got the ball in the third quarter here to start the third quarter. So we talked earlier here in the last hour about this is do or die time for that Washington defense as they really need to stop here, and this is a critical possession here for the Eagles because they could basically put this game away if they score.
Correct. And it's going to be one of those things, like just to throw it out there, we mentioned Bobby Wagner. He ended up pushing Jalen Hurts out of bounds 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 12. But so the Commanders really need to steal momentum here. It's going to be a big deal. Like you said, if the Eagles score on this drive, 3 possessions is a lot, Gene. 3 possessions is a lot against a team that's been to the Super Bowl, a team that has seen success at a completely different level than the Commanders have.
Well, as soon as you said it,
hey,
what a big sack there.
What a big sack there.
7 yards lost on that there. But, man, this yeah, you're right. This is they just showed a picture of the defensive coordinator, and right on cue, boom.
Yep.
Yeah, he caught I didn't know about it even. Boy, that was some poor tackling there. But anyway, we're also going to get you ready for the AFC Championship game later. This will be the Bills and the Chiefs. And as I mentioned, the bottom of the hour, CBSSports.com senior writer Brian DiArdo is going to join us to talk NFC Championship. So now look, this is going to be interesting because he's actually working. Now he's not at the game, but he's working.
Uh-huh.
He's actually having to write his articles for CBSSports.com, but he is going to talk to us at the same time.
Hey, that just means we get a little bit of insider information, right? Like, it's nice having Brian in our back pocket. He's one of the most knowledgeable people I have ever gotten to talk to on the show.
Interesting.
He's good, man.
Now, normally we would keep him on for 2 segments, but I think because he's working, we're only going to get him for a segment. But should be interesting. But anyway, this is probably one of the most neutral sports bars that I've ever seen in the city of Houston because we got a little bit of Commanders and Eagles fans, so it's not really dominated here. I guess it seems like we got more Eagles fans.
Yeah, more Eagles than Commanders here for sure.
And that's odd for to be in a Texas, town.
Yeah.
With more Eagles fans.
You would think, at least with the Commanders being underdogs here, that you would see more shirts for the Dogs, and you don't. You absolutely don't. The Eagles have some pretty solid representation here. And then, there are more Raiders fans in the building than there are Commanders, it seems. So.
That's probably true. And of course, AJ, look here, and it could be one of those things where, Cowboys fans, they don't like neither one of them. Am I right, AJ?
Absolutely not. We don't.
You've had your share of run-ins with both of these teams, right?
Not necessarily. Well, Commanders. Yeah, because one of my past my church fans of them, and then I have a good amount of friends actually Eagles fans. Definitely have a contact with them. Get the whole 9 miles, especially being.
All right. Okay. So. We're steady, giving away T-shirts here. That seems to be the theme of the day, and of course they are requesting the double X size. We just don't have those. So it's not a bad time to lose weight either. It's still the beginning of the year.
Hey, it's new year, new you, right? Hey, this is a perfect time for a resolution. Lose a little bit, get in shape. So that you can fit your ESPN shirt.
That's the best thing you can do when we don't have a double X, right? Just drop a couple of pounds, and we should be okay, right?
Health is good.
Easier said than done, okay?
Yeah.
Especially with these hot wings and these. I just saw a big burger. That's an interesting looking drink there.
The one with the Red Bull one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that live on air, but yeah, it is. It is an interesting looking drink.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But anyway, all right. So look here. It's still raining outside, as far as I can tell, and I don't know. I think it's still too early for the Buffalo Bills fans. I think they're coming. How they just have a way of they're gonna be here.
They're breaking tables, Gene. They're out there breaking tables, getting ready for the game tonight. It's a beautiful thing. The Bills fans, Bills Mafia has one of the best fan bases in the
You
NFL.
know what they do? They're over at the Comedy Club watching last week's game against the Ravens. And then they got to come over here and then turn this place out. I think that's what they're going to do.
I think you're right. They're going to split between here and Christian's tailgate. And I think you're right. I think they're just a little bit out. The game's not close enough to be in here. Once we see the third quarter wrap up, we'll probably see some of that New York blue walking through the door, getting ready for it out here.
How about a stop that we said, hey, what the Washington Commanders needed? So, look, it's 13-27, 12-27 left to go in the third quarter. So that meant that the Eagles only held that ball for like 2.5 minutes.
Yep. And now we are going to see if the Washington Commanders can really put something together here. Like I said, they can steal the momentum of the game. A one-score game is absolutely not insurmountable. And Jaden Daniels gets sacked, so that's not necessarily great for what we're talking about right now.
12 yards on that. Oh, my God.
But this is when you can do it. If Washington can get back into the game right here, I mean, this is a very, very competitive situation to be in. You need points. Even if it's a field goal, 27-18 is not that bad. You just need something.
Even a field goal. But, I mean, just historically, this team has been he got a little face mask there. Oh, wow. I don't think they caught that.
They didn't. He's not Patrick Mahomes. But
no. Yeah, you got to have that. He's wearing the wrong jersey. Yeah. But anyway, I like what we see here. I mean, this team has been historically a second half team. So Commanders fans, they're not even in a panic mode at this point.
No, I don't think they're going to be in a tizzy. If the Eagles score on this drive, right, it does look like Washington's about to punt. So if the Eagles score on this drive, we're in the same hole that we were just talking about to open up the second half. But yeah, I think if you're a Washington fan, you are not hitting the panic button. I think you're kind of taking in what's happening, but I don't think by any means that you are worried yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Look, once again, I mean, it's really critical though that the defense is being put to the test, and you don't want to spend a lot of time on this field if you're the Washington Commanders. So I mean, the quicker they can get Jalen Hurts and that offense off the field, then because they really do need points. They need a lot of points.
Yes, they do. Not too many yet, but they do need a lot of points. I'm really hoping. So we had talked about it during the break. I've got a heck of a 6-leg parlay going right now.
You got to talk
with Dustin
about that. Yeah.
But
how's that looking now?
It's looking good, Gene. I've got 3 bets for this game. I've got 3 for the Kansas City Buffalo game. I've hit 2 out of my 3 for Washington right now. I need a Brian Robinson anytime tutter, and I'll be 100% for the early game. So it's looking good. I bet 20 to win 2,000. The parlay is looking solid so far.
I knew taking you to Vegas was probably the biggest mistake I ever made.
I'm a degenerate now.
You know, it's amazing there, but those are some pretty good odds. Okay, if you can turn $20 into 2,000, who wouldn't make that bet there?
Exactly.
For a six
leg, yeah, not too bad.
That's not bad at all. So once again, look, I don't know how more we can describe this place here. This bar. These bartenders are they like Jaden Daniels, man. They are just really cool. You don't see, like, you go to some place and you see bartenders just
frantically
crazy.
Yeah,
they just really have it under control.
You can tell these people are used to the crowd, right? You can tell that they're used to this place being packed out because pretty much every bar that I frequent, it's what you just described, right? They're losing their mind running every which way, but here they're cool and collected.
Well, yeah, last week was completely different. It was completely busy. These guys are they just sit back. Maybe they make those drinks really strong to where you don't have to come back.
Yeah, man. Plus, it does seem that, civilized is the wrong word to use, but it's a more civilized bar, right? Like, you're not. Last week, the waitresses didn't know where they were going because there were so many people standing in the way that they couldn't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
And this place has a lot more seating. So it is a slightly different atmosphere for sure.
We have really enjoyed the month of January being out and just, there are so many sports fans here in this town. And we talked about the diversity of the sports fan here in Houston. Yeah, you got your Cowboys fans, you got your Texans fans, but you have a boatload of other teams' fans here. And it's just unique to see it sometimes.
It is really neat to see it. Sports are one of those things that can really bring people together. And it is a beautiful thing to see the wash bucket of people. Like, you have New Orleans fans that have come over from, Louisiana or Mississippi. You have tons of Eagles fans. You have more Bills fans than I ever could have imagined.
That
right?
I didn't see that one coming.
You have Cardinals fans. I've seen a lot of Arizona fans here. Like, it is the melting pot of Houston is a cool spot for sports fans.
Absolutely. So, look, we just got a quick update from the press box over there in Lincoln Financial Field. It looks like Kenneth Gainwell return is questionable for the rest of the game. So that hit whatever Bobby Wagner did to him on that opening kickoff there.
It stuck.
And that is a running back that they are going to be without now, because right now it's just been Barkley and Hurts sort of taking on the rushing duties. Gainwell only had 3 attempts for 8 yards, but they don't have him at all right now, so he's questionable to return.
Yeah, and Kenneth Gainwell is actually a big part of this offense. His name gets a little lost in the sauce because Saquon's having such a terrific season, but you need the break, right? Like, Saquon is so good because Saquon has been fresh all season because Kenneth Gainwell offsets him so well. He's terrific in the passing game, and he is a good second back in the running game. So, I honestly, I believe that if Kenneth Gainwell misses any significant amount of time, it is going to impact the Eagles' long-term success in this game, Gene.
Yeah, I think so. So that's something we thought we would share with you. And speaking of break, I think we are pretty much getting close to that time. So I'm really concerned about we just lost the signal again. So
need the storm.
And,
it started raining pretty hard again. That's what it is.
That's what's going on. All right. Well, how about we take a break so we can get the TVs back on, and when we come back, we will continue on with the Mean Gene Show live from Tom's Watch Bar, downtown Houston on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, folks. Once again, it's Jacob Meadows from the Coach's Quarter. Mean Gene, AJ, our producer, back in the studio on this NFL Championship Sunday. So look, okay, while we were on the break, a lot of things happened, okay, including the score of the Philadelphia Eagles-Washington Commanders game. The Eagles are now up 34-15. They didn't get that stop. Now we are, we're in double-digit territory here, but almost 3 touchdowns
Yeah.
now. It would take 3 scores behind here. Not good. Jalen Hurts gets in the end zone with a 9-yard touchdown run there. So Jacob, I don't know. This is what we said that wouldn't. This 8:58 left to go in the third quarter. So this is now the Commanders are in a must-score.
This is where you didn't want to be. This is you're approaching the territory where you need some Noah Brown magic, right? He did it for the Texans. He's done it for the Commanders this season. And this is where you see that Terry McLaurin is arguably the only bona fide receiver on this roster. You have the inexperience of the rookie quarterback. You have a running game that has been pretty much ruled out, right? Brian Robinson, despite being the last leg I need to hit on my parlay, has not been cooking today. This Philadelphia defense looks amazing, and it's make or break time right here. If you fall too far behind, the game is over. So,
well, yeah, and this is look. You may not see a lot of Brian Robinson here unless he's going to catch the ball in the backfield there, because now you're down, 3 scores here, and you know what happens now. It's a passing attack.
Yep.
And now the Eagles have forced these guys to be one-dimensional for the most part. They're going to have to pass now. And look, to be honest with you, this is all the Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts show. They both have 2 touchdowns apiece. I mean, it's just 2 people killing them, and you get AJ and Goddard are the 2 wide receivers. So it's a 4-man game here.
And it's just one of those things where I don't know. So the Commanders' defense has played admirable this year, right? But by no means have they been shut down. And you're seeing that offensive, the uniqueness of the Philadelphia Eagles, the uniqueness of the size, speed, and strength of their biggest members, right? There's a reason that Philly let Zach Ertz go for Dallas Goedert. There is a reason they acquired A.J. Brown from the Titans. And you see the chemistry between Jalen Hurts and A.J. You see the chemistry between Jalen Hurts and Saquon, and Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert. And it's just one of those things where this Commanders team is very, very new, right? These Philadelphia Eagles have been playing, sans Saquon Barkley, these guys have been playing together. Yeah. And you can see it, the trust that Hurts has in these guys. You can see what the Commanders are lacking comparatively speaking, and it is on full display right now. The Commanders need a little bit of help now.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. And, this is going to be interesting here. But anyway, so 34-15, 8:27 in the third quarter. So the Chiefs are a 2-point favorite at home. Okay, so that means the betting folks think that they are a slightly better team when, accounting for the home field advantage.
Of course.
Okay, so anyway, the Bills, okay, let me get this right here. The Chiefs are 3-0 in this recent postseason rivalry. I'm trying to say all of this in one together here. So we saw what happened with the Bills in the regular season. Can Josh Allen, can these guys go in there and steal this game here? I know we're not making our predictions yet, but what is it going to take for Josh Allen to get in here and prove all of these odd makers wrong today?
A great run game. If you can run the ball on the Kansas City Chiefs, if you can control the time of possession, you can win the game. This is the worst Kansas City Chiefs team we've seen since Patrick Mahomes was drafted. And if you can control the clock, you can control the game. Do I think that it's going to happen? It's very 50-50, right? If you look at it on paper, the Bills probably do have the better team. But we've seen Kansas City come out of just the weirdest holes that they possibly could find themselves in. They always come out successful. Regardless of what you want to point fingers at the reason to being, they do usually come out on top. So I think that if the Bills can control the run game, I think they're going to be okay today.
Yeah, I mean, this is must-see TV here, and I just think that Josh Allen, just the unbelievable odds that they came back from, losing Gabe Davis, getting rid of Stephon Diggs, and everybody's saying, what are y'all thinking? What are y'all doing? I mean, this team is almost not rebuilding, but it
brand new.
Looked like they hit the reset button.
Yeah, they liquidated their entire starting defense. There was like 8 new defensive starters coming into this season. And no matter what happens, the Bills season should be seen as a success. I would hate to see Brandon Bean on any sort of a hot seat. I'd hate to see Sean McDermott on any sort of hot seat because what they have done with this roster, what they've done with this team that had such low expectations coming into the year has been nothing short of phenomenal already.
I want to go ahead and just acknowledge something. One of my good friends, Fred Farley, just jumped in our chat. Fred, you're absolutely right, man. He says that the maturity of the Eagles is starting to take over, and something we didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
But it is showing. It's showing that this is a team that has been to the Super Bowl. They haven't won one under this particular Nick Sirianni team, but they've been there, so they know what it feels like to get there and not win it. And here to have an opportunity to get there again. This is critical stuff here, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Fred. Yeah, I mean, and rookie, you got a rookie. I mean, and sooner or later, what is it with Cinderella? It's gonna all things are gonna change at midnight, right?
Yes, things are gonna change at midnight, Gene.
So, I mean, that's just the way it goes. So, I mean, it's one of those games here. And look, I've just got to update, refresh here. I got to figure out what's going on here as we continue to lose our signal here. So 34-15, 6:50 left to go, and look like they're trying to do whatever they can.
They're trying to drive right now.
They just gave the ball to Robinson earlier.
The storm that is kind of hard to see on the screen behind us, but that is absolutely roaring on in the background, has kind of riddled the connection with the actual game here in the bar a little less than ideal. I mean,
so thanks to the NFL, we're actually plugged into the press box.
Correct.
So we're able to get like real time updates here and continue to let you know what's going on in Philadelphia. But yeah, I mean, I tell you what though, in the next segment here, it's going to be interesting, and I want to get what we can try to get Brian Diardo to kind of piggyback on what Fred brought up with that maturity. I think he's probably going to agree.
Yeah,
with that statement.
It's hard to argue it.
Yeah, where just like what we saw in the BC, I want to say BCS, but the college football playoffs, where the teams that had the strength of schedule, we saw the blowout. We saw, so you're starting to see that here now. But you can't really say the same thing for the next game coming up here, because I tell you what, man, both of these teams, everybody knows what Buffalo needs to do.
Yeah,
because if the Eagles go well, Washington is in the red zone here, so they see if they can make it a competitive game here.
I need everybody to cross their fingers for Brian Robinson anytime touchdown. That is.
Yeah, he didn't get much there, but they giving it to him, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to call here. It's 3rd and 1 now.
And
Philadelphia 10.
You don't want to walk away with only 3 points on this drive. Every single drive the Commanders can make it into the red zone, they absolutely need to score a touchdown and not kick for points. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Cliff draws up here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just when we pretty much put them out of reach there. And
oh, there we go.
Well, what do you call it? You let your quarterback do it.
Hey.
You let the rookie, who doesn't know that he's in the biggest game of his career,
run a beautiful option.
How about that? So Jaden Daniels gets into the end zone, 10 yards, just straight up the middle there. So pending this extra point, we have a 34-21 game and could have a 34-22. So not so fast.
It could be a 12-point game again, Gene. We could see Washington come back.
It's just exciting because no one wants to see a blowout, but I still think that they're overmatched here because they still got to come out and play defense too.
Correct.
And that's something that they haven't done well today.
Not only do they have to play defense, but they have to play it at a level, like you just said, that they have not been playing it at. You have got to stop the bleeding here. The Eagles are pounding it away. Their offense is like a well-oiled machine today. And you really...
conversion is successful. He hits
all right. Alamine Zacchaeus with the 2-point, make it an 11-point game.
Wow. Okay. Way to go, Dan Quinn. I see you there. So interesting there. Just once again, remind this kid that he's a rookie.
No kidding.
Can someone remind him that he's a rookie doing all of
the poise of Jaden Daniels is phenomenal. It's something that they've said a lot about Cam Ward coming out of the University of Miami. His ability to sit in the face of something happening and just really move through the motions without, being scared or, looking stressed out or in a panic. It's what we're seeing out of Jaden Daniels right now. He has full control of his offense. He is not worried. Even if they don't win this game, Jaden Daniels deserves to be praised for the poise that he is showing here against a team that has made it to the Super Bowl under Nick Sirianni.
But the future looks bright for Washington. AJ, we talked about this earlier, man. You got, if you're a Cowboys or a Giants fan, you still got to put up with these two teams here that could be the cream of the crop in the next couple of years here in that division, AJ.
Yeah, but the encouraging thing is that there hasn't been a repeat NFC East champion since 2004. So we know anything. There's going to be a lot of video up on each other next year. So I'm encouraged by that. But having Jaden really, be the best quarterback in the division already, it is something that's going to happen for the next 10, 15 years for sure.
Only the best quarterback in the division because they got rid of Danny Dimes. Stud.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. We're going to hear from the expert, the one man that we believe in. We trust in him. If you've read his articles, you know he is all about the business. CBSSports.com senior writer Brian DiArdo is going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. He's covering this game here, so he's writing an article as we speak. So he's going to step aside. He's going to put his ink pen down or his laptop down. I don't think anybody writes like physically anymore, right? So anyway, stick around, folks. We got 30 more minutes here left to go in this show, and then we're going to get ready for the big game that's coming up between Kansas City and Buffalo. So hey, you're listening to the Mean Gene Show live from Tom's Sports Bar, downtown Houston, right here on 97.5 ESPN.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All righty, folks, we are moving it right along here, bottom of the hour, and as promised, we are going to bring on our great friend who is a senior writer for CBSSports.com. He's actually working right now, so we're going to make good use of his time, but we're so thankful to have him on, and that's Brian DiArdo. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Gene, always good to be on with you, man. It sounds like you guys are having a great time down there in Houston. And we certainly got an NFC Championship game that's living up to the bidding for sure so far.
Well, look here, Brian. I tell you what, man. This bar is really interesting here, Tom's Watch Bar, because we don't really know who, like, the crowd is rooting for. They're really quiet. I just think they're, it might be a bunch of Cowboy fans here. They don't like neither one of these teams, right?
Yeah, and the Cowboys fans, they haven't been in this game in almost 30 years. It might continue here with their head coaching decisions. But yeah, this has been a great game so far. Really, the difference, I'm sure you guys have been discussing, has been the two Commanders' turnovers in the first half. It led to 14 of the Eagles' 44 points so far. And Saquon Barkley playing with calf injury. I'll say this, if this is a tied game, if those turnovers didn't happen, I would love the Commanders' chances, because really, that injury has forced the Eagles to throw. Jalen Hurts, he's making all the throws, and as I speak, he's just been challenged there for another first down. So, I'll say this, if the Eagles can hold on and win, I mean, what a signature performance verse. I would say this is the second most impressive performance ever. Second to only great game in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, Brian. This has been incredible. And like you said, if the Commanders don't turn the ball over there in the first half, this is a totally different looking game. The Eagles don't look great. It's just a matter of whether it be special teams or defense, Philly's being able to hold on right now. Do you think? I mean, I know that you like the Commanders. You just said that you like their chances, especially without the turnovers. But have you seen enough out of Jaden Daniels? Are you worried about their running game? Do you think the Commanders can stage this comeback?
They're going to stop in this drive if they can. And when I say stop, even if they hold the Eagles to a field goal, you got two possession game in the fourth quarter. I would like the chances. But I would say this possession here is going to decide what happens. The Eagles now are past midfield. They just took it wide to Barkley. Let's see what he does here. Got a couple of yards here. So, the Commanders are really forcing. They're doing to the Eagles with the Eagles in the game to Jaden Daniels, making them earn it downfield. The Eagles got their big plays early in the game. Touchdown, long pass to A.J. Brown on that 1-4 down play that was score. Whatever they said, they would have made the Eagles have to earn it. So I think whatever happens on this drive will determine what happens. If you score a touchdown here, it's game over. If it's field goal or nothing, then they got chance here in the fourth quarter.
You're going to like what you're about to see, Brian. I think we're a little bit ahead of you in the game. So,
Well, check this out, Dan. So you brought up a good point here, though, man. You're talking about. We just mentioned, Gainwell was questionable to return in this game, which I don't think he's going to be there. So you got a running back that you're not going to have. And then, Jalen Hurts is not 100% healthy here. So, look, the Eagles, they get out of this game here, man. And they just got 2 weeks to prepare for whoever is going to be, the Chiefs or the Bills.
Well, yeah. You guys are a little ahead of me. I just saw it happen. The Commanders have forced the punt. Now, the field position is still an issue. The Eagles gained enough yards there where the Commanders are going to contend here. Assuming something happens out here, you guys are going to see that I'm not. Cam Jordan with the injury, back up. Dickerson with the injury. I mean, really, the Eagles are dealing with injuries at center. Jalen Hurts injury, which is affecting his ability. He's not still running. Everybody can see. But obviously they're trying not to have him run if he doesn't do it. And then Barkley, I think, is that calf. I mean, would he ever run early in the game? I was thinking he's going to be off for another 2-yard gain. So, but I will say this: it looks like I'm not sure if they were able to prevent that from being a touchback here. But I will say this: if they were able to hang on to win this game, they're going to have to devise a game that's going to address what they are now as far as health. I mean, and Kenneth Gainwell now in the concussion protocol, their other running backs. Yeah, they're lucky that this is one of the normal Super Bowls where we have seen the conference. There was 1 week. Whoever gets out of the AFC, I would love their chances if that was the case.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if there was only 1 week, man, it would be close to impossible. So, Brian, get real quick here. This next game here, we talk about storylines. I mean, that's your profession there, man. You the master of the storylines. So what are you thinking here with this game here? We know the postseason woes that Buffalo has when it comes to Kansas City. We know the regular season victories that they tend to have. But man, what are you expecting in this big matchup here with these two giants, Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Well, I'm not a drinker, but I think it could be Miller time tonight. Fumble recovery last week. He had 6 sacks this season. I think going into last week's game, he's leading the NFL in pass rush rate. That's one of those fancy stats that are out there. I'm trying to stick to the times, guys. But yes, he's been doing really well lately. That pass rush has come on. And I think that front seven for Buffalo is going to have to be let down. And I love the matchup with Matt Milano. One of the best coverage inside linebackers in the league. So I think Buffalo's defense is going to hold its own. For me in this game, it's going to be which receiving core steps up. I mean, I think everybody knows the Chiefs only had one receiver catch a pass in last week's win. Buffalo's without Diggs has been great, but they did come up short in last year's divisional round loss to Buffalo. Specifically, Khalil, who I love, but he needs to step up and be a big receiver in a big game. And that's the key. What receivers on both sides, besides Kelsey, are going to step up. And Cook has to be big in this game. He's been big during the playoff run for Buffalo in that playoff wildcard win over Denver. They have to possess the ball. They need to keep the offense off the field, and they can't beat themselves. They can't leave this game into the hands of the officials. I think among the other things, Mahomes, Chris Jones, everything else they have. I think like all dynasties, they have a mental edge over every opponent they face. I think for Buffalo to win, they're going to have to win so convincingly that the outside elements don't matter. The weather, the officiating, injuries, nothing else. They have to win this game in a convincing fashion.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. The Bills being one of the only teams that actually beat the Chiefs in the regular season, I'd like to hope that some of that mental edge does kind of belong to the Bills, right? Like in this specific matchup, the Bills should have some sort of air of confidence to them despite their postseason record against the Chiefs, despite the fact that the Chiefs have played so well in this postseason. I'd like to think that the Josh Allen-led Bills they're coming into this game knowing that it's possible to take down Goliath, right?
Yeah, and it looks like there's a turnover situation in the NFC game, and I heard your fans during the microphone. You guys are giving me some nice spoilers and teasers here at home, but I think they can. I think Buffalo, like you go back to every time history, David has ended up beating Goliath after the third or fourth time facing off in the playoffs. Let me go back to the 70s when the Raiders finally played the Steelers. The 90s when the Niners finally played the Cowboys. Eventually now with Buffalo. I think that other team felt and that it impacted their games against the Chiefs. The Bills aren't going to have that. I think for them though, it's going to come down to execution. We're seeing in this game right here in the NFC. The Commanders aren't at quite the level Philadelphia is. And I think for Buffalo to win, they're going to have to thoroughly execute to keep that offense off the field. It's the same way with Tom Brady, the same way with Mahomes. His kryptonite is Achilles heel is pressure. They've got to pressure with Von Miller and Russo and their other pass rushers get to him. One thing else is also too, don't have a great running back. Freeman had 44 yards last year. Petco hasn't been the same back after he came back from injury earlier in the year. So again, I think the playmakers don't step up. This could be a game that Buffalo wins.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. So I guess we realized that we didn't know what type of fans we have. I think we got Eagles fans.
I think they're Eagles fans.
I think we just found out who the crowd wants to win, especially after that huge turnover, which could be kind of costly there as we get close. We're at the end of the third quarter, getting ready to go into the fourth. But hey, Brian, man, look, I don't know where we would be without you, man. Your knowledge and your contribution to this show, we really appreciate it. And, man, we're going to let you get back to work, and we're going to get ready for this big AFC Championship game coming up here.
I like hearing it before I see it. So, maybe I can sit right along. In all seriousness, it's always great to be all of you guys. Looking forward to discussing whoever wins at least sometime down the road.
Hey, we'll be in New Orleans in a couple of weeks, man, so can't wait to have you back on the show, Brian.
Sounds good, Jambalaya.
All right, yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
Brian Diardo, folks, joining us, CBSSports.com senior writer here, a great friend of the show. We had him on when we were in Las Vegas, and man, Check out his work, CBSSports.com. You probably read his articles and didn't even know that you were reading his articles because he is on point with about everything. So look, that was a monumental collapse by the Washington offense. That was the one thing that they did not need was a
Yes.
turnover.
Austin Eckler dropped that ball. You know, it almost looked like he could be rolled down, but he stood back up before he was down by contact. And that was like the one thing that Washington did not need here. So you are actually looking for we're reaching the point where you need a defensive touchdown.
Well, yeah,
Like
I mean, look, they fumbled it at the 49. So look, you just gave them,
half field advantage.
Yeah, so right now it's 1st and 10. Eagles have the ball on the Washington 32-yard line. Look, I'm going to say it. If they score on this one, I think they could. Steph Curry put the baby to sleep.
Yep, I think you might be right. I think there's not enough time left. It would take a crazy comeback by rookie quarterback in the NFC Championship to shore this away. On the road to beat the Eagles now if they score.
In hostile territory. The Eagles fans, they are famously known for booing Santa Claus.
Yes, that is actually something that
is a look. Some folks are not old enough to know about that, but they did. They could give a rat's ass about Santa Claus in December when he showed up at this stadium. So they wanted him off the field. But anyway, great stuff from Brian Diardo. So look here, when we come back, this is we're almost done. This is it.
This is it.
I'm thinking we got another 30, 40 minutes left to go. We're about to wrap it all up here. So, yeah, we'll come in on what Brian said about this Buffalo Bills games. I don't know. We're gonna look. Me and Dustin Pfeiffer, we made our picks on the Sports King show, and little that I knew about this, and I kept this up here the entire year.
Yep.
And these are our predictions from.
Preseason.
Yeah, from the preseason here. And AJ might remember some of this here because we did it all right here. So, believe it or not, we had Chiefs and Eagles in the Super Bowl. Huh?
It was a good pick.
I mean, that was my prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I never took this off our rundown here. Now, I did get the AFC Championship game wrong. I had Texans and Chiefs. And NFC Championship games, I had Eagles and 49ers. So.
But there were definitely things that happened throughout the season that you never could have foreseen, right? Like after last season, the Texans were a smart pick. After the last 10 seasons, the Niners were a smart pick. There's not a whole lot you can do there. Like they were excellent final selections.
That's true. So, hey, all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. When we come back, folks, the final segment of the Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All righty. It is almost that time, folks. We are down to the last segment here, and we have had so much fun here at Tom's Watch Bar, 1201 Caroline Street. Look, if you're a Rockets fan, you go see a Houston Rockets game, or even the Astros, you know, when baseball season starts, Jacob. I mean, this place is just a hop, skip, and a jump. You can just walk right over here. There's plenty of room here. It's championship weekend. This place is packed. I am told that it's always packed. But it's been fun here, and we're looking forward to trying out the food.
This is a cool spot. I'm really hoping we can come back. This has been a fun show. And
we're going to put him on the show. Yeah, number 2 with the Raiders jersey. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But this has been a cool spot, man. And like Gene, like you just said, this is going to be one of the better spots. Every Astros game we come to, every Rockets game we go to, this is going to end up being one of the spots that we come to afterwards.
Yeah, it is. Hey, so look, I got a good friend that came all the way from Katy, I think. He lives in Katy. Here, take this mic, Sean. All right. So are we on? We got you? Go ahead and say something. All right, let me turn you up here. Go ahead, try it again. Go ahead. All right, we don't have you on. All right, hold on a minute. Okay, what about now? All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna sit here and talk to you. We can share.
Give him my headset.
Okay, we want to take this headset? Okay. There we go. Let's do this the right way here, real quick here. Because I wanted to get him on here because I know he drove all the way over here to hang out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, Sean, man, thanks for coming down here. But, you know, you mighty bold coming down here and dressed up in his Raiders gear, man. You're the only one? You know that, right?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm the last true fan.
Are you enjoying the game, though?
Oh, yeah.
Who y'all rooting for?
Anybody but Kansas City.
Oh, my goodness. So that's why you looked at Rachel kind of funny when she went over there to talk to you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So now, so your friend here is wearing the Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, she's confused, too.
Oh, my goodness. This is great stuff. So, man, I'm so glad you decided to come down and hang out with us. This place is really nice, ain't it?
No, it's real nice, real nice.
And I'm glad we got you a place to sit because it was looking like standing room only here. We're getting ready to make our predictions on this next game that's coming up here. I want to get your thoughts on it. Chiefs, Bills, who gets the Super Bowl 59?
Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs?
Yeah.
And I'm shocked that you would pick them in your division.
Well, think about it. You know, the Chiefs have themselves to worry about and the refs to worry about.
Yeah, the refs are on their side, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if things go their way, they'll be all right.
Okay.
They'll be all right.
All right. Look, so you know what? I'm going to call Nick a little bit later. Make sure that he watches the show because he ain't going to believe I got you to come on and talk. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for coming out, man.
All right.
I appreciate it. Great stuff here. The only Raider fan in the building. And was not bashful or ashamed. I know some Raider fans that love their Raiders, but great stuff here. Man, he hates the Chiefs, but he's picking them to win.
How could you not? Hey, that three-peat is looming, man. I want the Bills to win it, but any smart man would bet the Chiefs to take it.
That three-peat is scary, okay?
Yeah.
It is really scary. So speaking of scary, well, things just got a little bit more scarier in Philadelphia. This game is all but over, okay?
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are now up 41-23. And that turnover turned out to be costly. They ended up getting it in there. And Jalen Hurts, once again, 3 touchdowns on the day. All right, 10 attempts, 16 yards, 3 touchdowns. Barkley has 2. It's over. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I refuse to say that just quite yet. There is still almost 13 minutes left, but it is getting to that point. I mean, it's like Diardo said, it is the turnovers. The Eagles now have 21 points on Washington turnovers, and it is just too much. If you strip those away here, the the Commanders may actually have the lead. They could be about to knock them off. I don't know if they can do it, Gene.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm calling it. I just don't see. I just don't see how they are going to be able to come back. The pressure. You put more and more pressure on this rookie. And real quick, I want to acknowledge Chewy, who is in our live YouTube chat there. Um, he's not saying nice things about the Washington defense today.
No, he's not.
So, but I mean, look, hey, this is just. I mean, come on. This is a monumental task. I think at the end of the day, you're always going to be proud of what this rookie was able to accomplish. And there's a reason why a rookie quarterback has never made it to the Super Bowl. And you're seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you think about it, Jaden Daniels was the top 5 pick, right? He came right behind Caleb Williams. And there's a reason the team is picking where they are picking. The Commanders have absolutely outplayed their draft positioning from last year. I mean, this has been a successful season any way you paint it. But there is a reason. It's not like the Commanders were a driving force in the NFC Championship last year. They didn't have the talent to make it. There was a reason for that. And because they were able to get Jaden, it is just phenomenal what they've been able to do. And it's so long as he can avoid a sophomore slump that is just drastic, I do think we're seeing the budding beginnings of what is a contender with the Washington Commanders.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see. I mean, this is not the end of the Washington Commanders. I mean, things are going to look. They have exceeded all expectations. You get all of this done in year one, and you're only going to get better. This team is young, but they got good leadership at the head coaching and a good play caller and Cliff Kingsbury. So, yeah, things are going to get a little bit better. So we have to pick who is going to win this next game, and it's not really so easy and look, I know that the Buffalo Bills have a monumental task, but this is where champions are born. You have to go in there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I picked Buffalo to beat Kansas City. I said that Kansas City would not win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and the only team right now that's going to prevent that is the Buffalo Bills. For even if the Kansas City wins this game, then yeah, I have to change my pick altogether for Super Bowl 59. Because Kansas City is going to be the heavy favorite.
Yes.
As we will possibly see the rematch between them and the Eagles, but not so fast. I got the Buffalo Bills winning. I got Josh Allen giving his all, everything, and going in there and just they got to punch him in the mouth from the kickoff.
Not to mention, Josh Allen's stats since getting engaged have been pretty ridiculous so far this back half of this year. So I'm riding with you, Gene. I like the Bills to knock off the Chiefs to stop the three-peat from happening. It's mostly a gut feeling, which doesn't always win me a lot of money in Vegas. But I do like the Bills tonight. I think that they are just a more complete team, right? The Texans were able to kind of trash the Chiefs' defense. I think the Bills have a better offense right now than the Texans had. And I think that the Bills' defense is just good enough to get the job done, especially with the tools at Patrick Mahomes' disposal. So I'm right there with you, Gene. I think the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs tonight, and we're going to have a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
You have to go with Rachel.
I don't. She can Uber.
Do I need to give you a ride home?
It's my car. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay. It's your car. Okay. So anyway, I like what you said about those stats after
the engagement.
Yeah, the engagement. I remember my second divorce, my stats looked a whole lot better. I had none of that pressure on me whatsoever, man. Things just got better for me after that. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So look,
sometimes you have to hit that reset button.
You got to hit that reset button, man. But anyway, 25 Pro Bowl games. We say games because this thing actually starts Thursday, the 30th, and it runs through that Sunday. So I don't know how they look. One day is bad enough for the Pro Bowl. How they managed to squeeze 3 or 4 days.
It's like the combine now, just way less interesting.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is going to be the third year that the event will consist of skills and competitions, non-contact flag football game. Mm-hmm. Good luck with the Pro Bowl. We used to give tickets away to the Pro Bowl. We can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I wish that they would go back to what it used to be. And I mean, I get for the safety of the players, right? Like, I understand you don't want these great players out there beating each other up in a meaningless game, but it wasn't always a meaningless game. It meant something. Back in the Ray Lewis era, right? Like when you were back there when
they
the
were in
greats were
Hawaii,
balling.
you know, they got to see some good games over in Hawaii when the Pro Bowl was there. But anyway, so look, if you want to watch it because you got to have something to do next week because that's the only thing that's going to be on here as the Super Bowl is back to 2 weeks. Look, we'll be back in the studios next week, ESPN 97.5 studios at our regular time, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I want to thank the wonderful people here at Tom's Watch Bar for having us here today. Awesome hospitality. And, of course, we want to thank Dustin Pfeiffer from FanDuel Sports and, of course, our great friend Brian DiArdo. And AJ, always, man. AJ, we coming back home, man. We coming back home.
We are coming to see you, baby.
Coming home, man. AJ, like, really? You cannot take a vacation next week. It's disapproved. Even though I'm not your boss.
We will call your boss. It's no time off.
All right, folks, enjoy the rest of this game. We're going to watch the rest of this as we get ready for Kansas City and Buffalo. And we'll see you next week here on the Mean Gene Show, ESPN 97.5 Houston. Out.